Hello there, beautiful people. Thank you for clicking in. My name is Mary and Mwangi. Germans like to call me Frau Mavangi, but we excuse them. Today, I'm going to be telling you about my whole experience as an au pair. It's exactly 1 year, 2 months since I finished my au pair program, or since I quit, or since I got actually fired from my au pair program. And this is a video that explains why exactly I left, or why exactly I got fired, why exactly I chose au pair, and if I would actually really do au pair again, and what exactly was my whole experience as an au pair. And you also find out if, in my experience, I recommend for you to do au pair. If you're interested in this kind of video, just stick around. Also, in other news, I am so sad. You know why? So apparently my baby here is going through a slow death. I have no idea how this happened. I keep watching this plant almost every day. So if you know what exactly I could do to stop this from happening from a beautiful plant, put her right back here. Let's put her right back here. If you know anything that I can do to help me save my plant, please help me know down on the comment section. And yeah, I do love my things this much. And my plant, for example, it's a she. I don't know, I just think it's a she, and her name is Ramani. Ramani is a Swahili name that means a map, and the map gives people direction, gives people purpose, and that's what this baby here is doing for my life right now. So her name is Ramani and I love her. So if you have any tips on how I could save my beautiful baby here, do what you gotta do in the comment section. Please let me know. So back to the topic. What was au pair like for me? If you're interested in this story, please go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel. I don't even like to tell people this because I spend a lot of time on YouTube and I only subscribe to channels I like. So if you like this channel, or you like me, or you like any of my videos, make sure you subscribe to my channel. And let's go. Like I said earlier, it's already 1 year, 2 months since I finished au pair, and whoa, let's just take a moment and trace back. So when I started au pair, it was 2019. 18th of March is when the beginning of my contract was. And when did I leave? I actually left the following year, 2 months before the end of my contract. So what was au pair like for me? I'm going to be very, very honest with you guys, because I've not even planned to say anything here. Like, I don't have any notes or anything. I'm just going to be putting it out for you the way it was. So I started my au pair in March. I moved in on the 16th of March. I was free, of course, on the 17th because my contract had not started, and then the 18th, my job started. So what was it like? Like, whoa, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Living with people is difficult, and especially living with new people. On top of that, people who live differently, who have a different culture, who speak a different language, who believe in a different set of beliefs on us. It was just, the beginning for me was very, very hard. And as an au pair, you're very, very closely in contact with children, but and you're in contact with children who are raised in a different culture. So if you come from a culture where you tell kids, stop, don't do this, you're coming into a culture where you tell children, you don't do this because of this and this and this. You get to negotiate with the children, and it was just very new for me. Like, I'm not trying to say we command and beat children and everything, but I'm just saying it was just different for me to see people discuss what the kids, for example, want to wear. Even if it's very, very clear that it's very cold, the kids want to wear a dress, but you have to discuss it with them because it's apparently their way of raising children, or apparently their right way of raising children, and you have to talk things out with them. So my first experience with children here was hard. I'm going to tell you the truth. The first 2 or 3 weeks, I was home with the host mom and I was home, yeah, with both the host mom and the host dad, because they wanted me to get used to their culture, and not really culture, get used to their routine and get used to how they handle their children, and also for some reason just even feel accepted or welcomed. Because I mean, if you just walk in today and tomorrow someone's already telling you, tomorrow take the kids to the kindergarten at 8 a.m. I don't even know where the kindergarten is to begin with. So the first 3 weeks were okay. It was just me getting what do I call it, orientation every day. They would teach me where the bakery is, where I can buy my own clothes from, where I can buy things for the kids, exactly what they need, where to get, I don't know, toothbrush, toothpaste, just all of these things, tiny things that actually really matter if you're very, very new and up to date. I am so thankful because I'm able to make conscious shopping, because I know where to buy what. And I find that most people who didn't go through Aupair have this problem of not knowing where to buy what at a price that's not cheap, or I mean at a price that's not expensive, or let me just call it inexpensive, because some of you people have money, some of you are rich. So anyway, so the first 3 weeks we do the orientation, and finally 3 weeks later my host mom has to go to work. My host had never stayed like for long, like he was there maybe every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks depending on how busy he was. And yeah, so we had this day, and my first experience with the kids, oh my god. So we used to take them together to the kindergarten, the three of us, me, and I used to take care of two children. The bigger one by then was 4 years old, and the bigger one was 5 years old, and the smaller one was 3 years old, and they were both girls. So we used to take them to kindergarten together, and then on this particular day I had to pick them up for the first time alone. So the routine was, you pick the kids from the kindergarten, you come back through the park, you play there for 2-3 hours, maybe 2 hours, and then the mom will be back home, and then you just take the kids home for them to have a time with their mom or their dad if he's there. So this day I picked the kids from the kindergarten. It was okay, it was fine, they were happy, I picked them up. But when we got to the park, bro, they did not want to go nowhere. The only thing they wanted is they want their mom. I think from a kid's perspective, I think it just snapped on them. Oh shit, I think this is a stranger. We don't know you, we just want our mom. And it was a very, very difficult experience for me, especially because I thought, okay, it's been 3 weeks, it probably is going to be fine, but kids need a lot of time. Kids need a lot of time to get accustomed to new people and new routines and everything. So at this point, it wasn't working out. The kid was just screaming everywhere, walking away, and just screaming and just making a whole scene, which I completely understand. Up to date, I really do. And it was just catastrophe for me. The kid was being rude, she was insulting me, she was just being very, very dramatic. And if you know how kids are raised in Germany, you know that they say exactly what their parents can say. So if their parents can say, you know what, they're going to say the same thing. So for me, that's really new, because kids where I come from, you can do that with an adult. No, it's not going to happen. So for me, I started to take these things personal, but I still have to bring the situation at hand. So I called my host mom. I told her, you know what, we're stuck in the park because let me call the kid. I don't want to give the real names because I don't want to get sued now. Let's call the kid, I don't know, oh my god, Nancy. Let's call the kid Nancy. So the kid Nancy, Nancy is making a whole scene in the, let me not even call it a whole scene, I just think she was just being a kid, and she wanted her mom, and she was being very rude about it and very dramatic and everything, but she's a kid, you know. So I told the mom, I don't know what you're going to do, but it's not working out. You have to find a way to come to the park and everything. So within no time, I really respect my host mom up to date because of how she is there, or has always been there for her kids. She, in my eyes, was some sort of superhuman who could do everything for her kids, and that way I really just got some sort of motivation to get children and how to raise them and everything. But that's just a story for another day. So she showed up, she came, apparently she even brought the dad, and they came, we talked things over. They helped the kid calm down. They discussed whatever they discussed, and the kid was okay. And they told the kid that I'm here to stay, blah blah blah. And we went home. Of course, I was so heartbroken. And at this point, I was just wondering, oh shit, I'm not allowed to curse on YouTube. I was just wondering, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to do this for a whole year. Like, I'm not sure if I'm even this good with kids. I thought I was, but these kids are different, you know. These kids are different. So we went home, we had this very long conversation. They allowed me to go to my room and just calm down, breathe in, breathe out. It was apparently my very first day at work, and it was really very hard. They had conversations with the kid. They told the kid not to be rude to me, not to use insultive words to me, blah blah blah. And the following day, the same thing happened. So this time I took the kids myself to the kindergarten. The morning was extremely difficult because you have to be at the kindergarten before 8, and you have to walk, I don't know, like 20 minutes, and with kids of course longer, and the kids just won't cooperate because they're kids. It's not because something is wrong with them or anything, because they're just kids, you know. And so this went on and on and on. At some point I even told my host mom, I don't know, I think something's not right. I don't know, something just feels not right about me being with your family, especially because your kids don't seem to be building trust with me. Anyways, this whole phase passed on. Later on, like 2 months after, it was very fine. Like the kids would even be calling me mom. They just they don't want to leave my presence. Like if I'm not taking them to kindergarten, they don't want to go. It was just so nice. Like the kids got really used to me, and it was, for me, a very, very beautiful experience, especially because of how hard it had started. Like they, even when I'm supposed to have free time, they still want to come down to my room. They still want me to play with them. They still want me to teach them how to do things, how to draw, blah blah blah. Yeah, and it was just beautiful. So I would say after 2 months, everything was starting to look like what I had imagined it to be. So we stayed like this for a few more months, I would call it, maybe 2 or 3. And even within this time, I'm really very close to the family. We spend weekends together. Yeah, most of the weekends I don't go out. Actually, even when I have free time, I just still stay around because I mean, what else was I even supposed to be doing? I didn't know so many people, and I didn't even know anyone to begin with. I just knew the people I was getting to know through my host family, and they were actually friends to the family and not friends to me, you know. Yeah. So I'm just going to the point where all these things started to change. It came to a point where I had to change my visa, to extend my visa to now a whole year visa. At this point, I was still also looking for a German course because, of course, as an au pair, you're supposed to be doing a German course, and I wasn't finding a suitable course because of my working time, and this was starting to put me under some sort of pressure because I didn't at any point want to do anything else after au pair if it was not Ausbildung. I didn't want to go through volunteer and all that. Really felt like, nay, I've already invested a lot of time and this is time for me to get into something that will actually form a career for me. So I really wanted to go into German course and, better my language, and of course increase my opportunities to get an Ausbildung. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, Ausbildung, go ahead and click on this link. Ausbildung is my nursing school training, this training I'm doing to become a nurse. And yeah, so at this point, I'm supposed to go and extend my visa. My argument is I paid for everything I had to pay to get here, and I think you guys should pay for my visa. It was about 100 euro, let me call it. I think it was 92 euro, but let's just call it 100 euro because I had paid exactly the same amount to be able to apply for visa in Kenya, and I felt it was only fair if they pay. In any case, as an au pair, by then you just earn 260 euros, and if you're already going to be paying 100 euro for just the ticket, and you need to pay for a course, I don't know, 400 euro, you need to buy a ticket for, I don't know, another 100 euro, it was just financially impossible. Like, maybe possible, but also with a huge strain. So the thing that happened is they did not reply to me. They said, I told the lady and she said, okay, I'll talk to my husband and then we'll get back to you. The thing is, at this point, I also met a few Kenyans also, and some of the weekends I was not home. I was still meeting up with them. We're still going for hangouts, going for grills, blah, blah, blah. So all this time, I'm still waiting for a reply because I'm like, I asked, and I think it's only normal to wait because maybe they have to discuss it, blah, 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 blah. And then the worst thing that happened is one time I came back from hanging out with Kenyans. I came back home on a Sunday afternoon, and I found that my bank was blocked. Like, I couldn't get any money and I couldn't send any money. my insurance was blocked. They used to pay for my insurance, so they were asking me, why exactly is money not like, we deposited money into your insurance cover, but it came back, we don't know why. A lot of things just started not to add up, like my insurance is not working, my bank is not working, and my visa is actually expired. Why? Because I'm waiting for a reply to be able to go and extend my visa. So at this point, I remember so clearly, it was on a Sunday, and I was still waiting for some replies so that I'll be able to know how I'm supposed to handle this situation. So on this Sunday afternoon, I'm given, of course, the plan for the week. I'm going to be missing on Tuesday, I'm going to be missing, I don't know, on Thursday, blah blah blah. And then on Monday morning, she told me, you have to go and check what's wrong with your bank, or you have to go and check what's wrong with your insurance, blah 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 blah. So when I went ahead, the problem came around to be that my visa is actually expired, and I have to extend my visa for my services like bank and everything to keep going. So I came and told them, I'm like, I've been waiting for you people to give me a reply. It's almost 4 weeks now, I've not heard anything from you. And she said, okay, let me communicate. So I waited, but at this point I'm actually starting to get nervous. I'm starting to feel, okay, if this doesn't work out, I think I'm just going to pay for myself, because I don't want to be getting into any trouble in this country, you know. And then the next information that came to me was, you know what, you have to go and pay it yourself, because if you're outside with our kids and you don't have a visa, our kids are not insured. So we give you between today and Wednesday. I remember clearly, it was on a Monday. They said between now and Wednesday, if you're not going to have cleared your issue with your visa, you have to go, because every time you're out with our kids, they're not insured. And in my head, I'm just like, yo, rewind. I'm just like, there's something I don't understand here. So the problem is, my visa is not extended. That's not even the main issue. The main issue is, I asked, and you guys were supposed to give me information on time. Maybe if you guys give me information on time, it wouldn't have gotten to this far, where most of my things are actually getting blocked. And the things I'm telling you now, I didn't tell them directly by then, because I didn't know how to react. And then I was actually very, very hurt by the fact that they said, I have to extend my visa, and if not, I can't keep working for them, because when I'm outside with their kids are not insured. I'm just like, okay, relax. I thought the last time we had this conversation, it was you guys to get back to me. The reply you're supposed to be telling me now is either we're not going to be taking over the course because of this and that, club. But to come on to me and tell me that we can't have this because of this, and because our kids are not insured, and there was a lot of other bunch of reasons that I found very, very inconsiderate to be saying. So anyways, this was just the situation. The first time I started to feel awkward. I started to feel really, really awkward about being with people who actually just want you to be there for their very own convenience. And in my opinion, au pair is not a job. You're not supposed to be treating me like you've employed me. It's more like, we made an agreement to be living together. You get what I give, you give, and I get what you can give. And I really feel like if they had approached the situation differently and just said, we don't think it's our responsibility to be paying for your visa, I would have said fine. I think I would have just gone ahead and just paid, and it wouldn't have ever been a problem. Maybe I would just have felt like, okay, I need to budget properly for this and blah blah blah. But to come out and tell me it's either you do this or you leave, I found that completely inconsiderate, especially for the fact of the relationship that we had built over the months. And then suddenly things just don't work out, and I am the one on the complete losing end, simply because someone couldn't tell me no in a better way. I don't know, maybe if you watch this video, you're going to understand this differently. But for me, this is how I felt. This is how I understood the whole situation. And I'm putting it out here just for you to know that sometimes as an au pair, your job is only to create convenience for other people. And if you have a problem with this, I really would ask you, do not try doing au pair, because they will actually treat you like their convenience. They will actually use you to their own convenience, and things that are actually very personal to you are not going to be their problem. No, it's not going to be their problem. Maybe I was wrong to expect that, but also my argument was, I paid the exact same amount to get here, so I'm here, I think, for some reason you guys should take over the course. But anyways, that was just the first time. And then after this point, I was just starting to feel very, 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 very skeptical or awkward. Let me say awkward. And then this next situation that happened after this was I was just about to, like I said earlier, I was still looking for a course. So it's almost 6 months and I don't have a course. So finally I found one and it costed like 350 euro. I paid for the course. I went ahead and paid for the course. I bought the books, I paid for the ticket and everything, and I attended my course. It came to the point where I had to pay for a C1 exam. C1 exam by then I think was costing about 190 or almost 200 euro, and my course was only 6 weeks. So in between the time I paid everything to begin my course to the end of my course, and also a week after to be able to pay for my exam, that was also going to be very, very financially straining for me. And yeah, and because after this whole visa thing, we had a few conversations and things were getting back to normal somehow, but there was still 1 or 2, 3 things that you would just be watching and be like, I would have expected it differently, you know, especially because I was giving it my best. I was giving it my very, very best. So at this point, they asked me about how my course is doing. I said, okay, it's going fine. I still just need to pay for C1 exam and I'll be done. They said they want to discuss if they can pay the exam for me. To cut the long story short, the exam date passed before they gave me a feedback. And they never ever talked about it anymore. And by the time I reminded them, they were just like, oh, yeah. They just like they didn't have an explanation of whether they're saying yes or no. And the thing that annoyed me the most is I had not asked. They offered, but even when they offered, it's just the things that are very, very important to me were not important to them. But when it comes to things like you have to take the kid to this place or to this place, I have to be on time. Things have to be straight. I have to plan. It was just a problem how much perfection they were expecting from me and how much they were handling me as if it was just you know what, either it works or it does not work out. So this didn't even throw so much problem. I missed the exam, but I eventually paid for B2 exam. I did my B2 exam and I went ahead and started my applications and everything. So at this point, I'm starting to really get tired of this family, and in between there are also 1 or 2, 3 things that happen. For example, if you eat something, it becomes more like I think we had planned to eat that later on, but since you already ate it, then now we have to plan again what we're going to eat, blah blah blah. Like all these just weird situations where you're just like, food is just food. If you eat, it's okay. If I eat, it's okay. I was just wondering why small things became a topic, and this went on multiple times and got to the points where the kids would say something. For example, like, I hurried them to go to the kindergarten today, and then the following morning the next thing is, yeah, do not hurry my children to the kindergarten, you're not supposed to do that. I'm just like, can you rewind and ask me this question directly, like adult to adult? Like, can you ask me what the heck went on? What the heck happened this morning that you had to hurry the kids? Because sometimes how kids understand things is not how adults see them. Maybe the small baby had to pee 5 minutes before we leave, and maybe they peed on their pampers, and you have to change everything and you have to restructure everything. And with kids, you never know what to expect. So I started to feel like some of these things are questioning my competence at my job, because they expect that their kids at kindergarten at 8 a.m. I tell you the truth, for my whole stay in Aupair, the kids were never late. Never at one point were they late. But I did have very, very stressful moments and mornings with these children trying to get them to kindergarten. So things like this started to really get to me, and also things like them discussing me with their children, and they don't want to bring me to the table to ask me questions or to also allow me to explain my side, or also this and that. And maybe the kids, maybe when I was going to, for example, before kindergarten, it's called, I have to dress warm myself, and I also have to dress the kids. So when I dress the kids, I quickly go down to my room and also try and dress myself warmly. Sometimes it takes maybe 3 minutes. Kids don't have patience. 3 minutes to kids sounds like maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes. Wann bist du endlich fertig? When are you ever going to be done? And then the news goes to the parents that I go to my room in the morning and I stay there for long, and no one asks me these questions. I just get them the following morning as instructions. And most times I even get to hear it from the kids. Like, the kids tell me, Mama said you're not supposed to be doing this, you're not supposed to be staying in your room. And in my head I'm just like, whoa, wait, what exactly are you guys talking about? So multiple times I did bring this to the table, we did discuss it, and it went on to the point, we'll try to approach you more, we'll try to discuss things more with you, blah 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 blah. But I can tell you for a fact, these things never changed. These things never really changed, and I was starting to get very, very tired. Until one particular moment, the kid was pissed at me because they wanted to pour muesli. Muesli is cereal. It was cornflakes actually, and they wanted to pour milk. And then I asked the kid, okay, let me help you, because every time she pours the milk, she spills it, and it's not really the normal type of spilling where it's just a little bit where you can just wipe it, but she actually overpours the milk, and she fills out the bowl completely, and it overflows. And I just wanted to help the kid, and then she screamed at me. She's like, no, don't do this, don't do this. This was not a problem. But the next thing I heard is that you don't seem to be listening to our children, and they told their children that they were going to kick me out. And the following time, I think the next time the kid got angry, they told me like, Mama hat gesagt, sie wird dich vor die Tür setzen. That means, even though mom said she was going to kick you out. And then I really felt offended, not even by being kicked out or anything, because if it's not working out, it's just not. And if both of us are not cultivating for this relationship, then it's just not working out. But it got to the point where I really have to hear this from your kid. Like, if there's a problem, why won't you approach me directly? What's the problem? Why do you have me in your house anyway, you know? And at this point, I really just decided, you know what, I'm tired. I am actually tired. So what happened, I went ahead and applied for volunteer, which I really honestly did not want to do. I was so close to getting my contract. I actually had an interview and everything, and I had all the qualifications, since I already had B2 exam, which the qualification is actually B1. But around this weekend, they tried to fix things. They treated me so nicely that weekend, because they were going to go away for, I think, 5 days, and I was supposed to stay back home and take care of the house, take care of the 2 cats, and also take care of the plants. And they treated me nicely, and I just went ahead and said, okay, well, then fine, then let me just stay. Maybe it's just me who's overlooking, what's the word, who's just not understanding things the way they are. Maybe I'm just exaggerating, maybe I'm just overreacting, maybe just, and I just stayed, you know, I stayed. But after this point, so many things happened, and I'm not about to be listing out for you everything that happened, because most of them I actually don't even remember them. Like I said, it's one year, 2 months since I finished my Aupair, but I'm just here to tell you, they used me for their convenience, and my convenience was nothing for them. Like, those particular times when, for example, I wanted to go for Oktoberfest. If you're new to Germany, Oktoberfest is really something you want to do. And we agreed that I was going to get to go for Oktoberfest. And then that's like a week before. And then on the day that I want to leave, I hear, for example, I'm going to be going to the gym today, so I'm going to expect you to be taking care of the kids up to 10 p.m. I'm like, I had asked you that I wanted to leave, and I think we had discussed it. We had said yes, like, yeah, okay, we just changed our mind. I think I just really need to go to the gym. And this thing started to get to me. I'm just like, yo, relax. What's the point of me even telling you these things in advance? Because so anyways, a lot of things just happened. Like, they kept on happening. And I remember particularly the December of that year, I went on holiday for Christmas at my brother's place in the south of Germany. I actually went from Hanover, I went up to Berlin, and then I went down to Stuttgart, and I was just visiting family, blah, 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 blah. And then in this time, my host mom got sick when I was still on holiday, and they called me, they asked me, can you come back? I said, yes, I can come back. My brother was so pissed. He was so mad. He said, you're on holiday. If you're on holiday, you're on holiday. Anything that goes on at your workplace is not your concern. So I said, okay, I'll come back. And the condition I gave is they have to pay for the ticket, since I'd already paid for my ticket to go back like earlier, since I'd planned my journey already. And if I'm going to change my things, then you have to pay. Then they refused to pay. And for some reason, they found a way around their problem. And when I came back, I found that my host mom was pregnant, and she was very sick, and she was having hyperemesis, and her pregnancy was being very, very difficult for her. She was having a very difficult first trimester, and she was staying home. If you ask me, she didn't want to stay home, but because her health was not doing very well, she had to stay home, and she was stressed out most of the time. And the problem with being someone who takes care of the kids and then their mom is there is these kids are different with you as they are with their mom. When their mom is there, they start to behave like very, very spoiled brats. And I think most of you can just relate to these things completely. And these things started to be very, very a lot, like they started to become too much. And I really was expecting that the host mom would be able to tell the kids, you know what, stop this, it goes up to this far, it doesn't go beyond this, you can't talk to her like that, or you guys can't be treating her like that. I got to the point where the kids were pinching and hitting me, and that's just how kids are. But my thing is, you are an adult, I am an adult, why can't you stop it? These are your children, you know. And I can also tell the kids to stop, but there's still this superiority of they talk about me when I'm not there. So the things that their mom tells them, I'm not sure what they talk about. Just like they say, don't go in between two people who see each other naked. And it was just what it was. And I remember at one point, the lady we had lunch, just normal lunch. Although at this point, I was actually a little bit more held back. I was more introverted. I wasn't telling them anymore about my plans. I wasn't spending a lot of time as I was before, because I just realized, you know what, if you're not going to cultivate for this relationship, then I also won't. And I was just like, I'll just do my job here because that's what I have to do. But everything I don't have to do, I'm not going to do it because you're also not doing it. And one morning we woke up, I took the kids to kindergarten, and then I also picked them up, and then we had lunch together. And I just saw my host mom stood up, she went to the kitchen, and then she came back with a piece of paper, and on the piece of paper was a letter, and the letter, she had written it herself, handwritten, and she said that our family situation has changed and we cannot have an Aupair anymore, so we are going to be firing you. Not really firing, but we're going to be, I don't know, we're ending our contract, let me call it that way. And in my head, I'm just like, whoa. I always thought I'm bipolar, but bro, relax. These people, you can eat together and think everything is fine, and the next thing that slaps your face is, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. Sorry, that was my Bluetooth thing going off. Yeah, so that's how I actually got fired. And on this day, I had 14 days to leave. They gave me 14 days notice to leave the house. And honestly, this caught me by surprise. I didn't see it coming, because there's only 6 weeks left for me to finish my contract with you. So what exactly is the problem? If we've survived 11 or let me say 10 months, why can't we finish the rest of the 6 weeks? Because we've already created some sort of structure. You do this, I do this, we move. And if you want to end the contract, it's fine, it's okay, you can end the contract. It's just that the conditions in which you're ending the contract seem sort of off. Secondly, where should I go? What should I do? I know it's not your problem, but I'm a foreigner here. I don't have any other means of income. I don't have anything else. Like, I'm just supposed to live, and it's fine, you know, it's their house, it's just everything. For me, I felt bad, because if we've been able to go through everything else, 6 weeks was not going to be a problem. But anyways, it's their house. They still did what they thought was right, and that's how I got fired. That's how I had to leave. Luckily, a friend of mine had moved to Hanover as a volunteer, and I stayed with her for a few weeks. Not even weeks, just I think for a week and a half, and then COVID came out, and she had multiple roommates, and her roommates went ahead and complained, we can't have a guest here because she's going to infect us with COVID, or she's exposing us to COVID, blah blah blah, because we're so many people here, the lesser we are, the better, and everything. So I had to move. I moved there. I was also hosted elsewhere for some time, and finally my house building started, and I moved where I'm living now. And for me, that was generally my au pair experience from the beginning to the end. There's a lot of things that I left out, mostly because I forgot them, and also because I don't want to be painting a bad image of the host family that actually hosted me. I'm just out here to call out what I think was unacceptable in my opinion. I'm sure if they give their story on their side, it's going to be different, but I'm out here to tell you what I understood from my whole situation. So would I be an au pair again? Honestly, no. The honest thing is no, I wouldn't do au pair again. If I was given a choice to go back to time, I would choose to be a volunteer. Why? Because I can live alone. I'm at work only when I'm at work, but as an au pair, even if you only work 5 hours a day, you are in this house 24 hours. So there is a very thin line between the time when you're working and the time when you're not. And I wouldn't just do it. For one, that's the reason. Secondly, you get slopped very well by the culture because you're in the family. You get to experience a new culture if you're living in a new country, but if you're living within a family, you experience it differently, bro. It's on another level. And I wouldn't also do au pair for that reason. Would I recommend au pair? Yes, I would recommend au pair for you. Why? Because you might get a family that treats you better, or you might get a family you can get along with. Secondly, you learn the language. I find, for me, I really honestly do not struggle that much with German, and it's mostly because I learned my German with the children I was taking care of. So yeah, would I recommend it if you want to learn German very, very fast? Yes, you can do au pair. Is it worth it financially? Yes, it is worth it financially, because most of your bills get paid for, and you still get, but now it's increased, it's actually 280 euro as pocket money. And if you don't have a lot of things you have to pay for, then it's viable. It's not very, very bad. Okay, so what else? Would I allow a family member of mine to do au pair? No. No, I just feel like you'd rather just have a place of work where you go every day and return to your place. But would I actually tell people, why do I give information about au pair? Because it's a great program. I think the initial idea of why this program was created is a great program, and that's why I actually initially got into it. So if you have a bad experience as an au pair, my advice to you is cultivate what's being cultivated back. If they want to not treat you right, then leave. Honestly, just leave. For me, I do regret not leaving when I should have, because maybe it shouldn't have gotten to the point where I got sucked. Yeah. And also talk things out. Really don't bottle things up. Just speak when you have to or when you should. And yeah, it's going to be a nice experience. And also, the moment you start to notice fishy things about your family, talk about it, because if you don't, you become the only person who's seeing these things, and these things start to affect your judgment, they start to affect how you feel, and also they affect your productivity at work. So that's all from me today. Oh, that's a long talk. And yeah, that's all I'm going to be saying today about my au pair host family. So, or rather, my au pair experience, the whole au pair experience for me. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like that video, or you smash that like button, and also subscribe to the channel, but only if you like me, because if you subscribe and you don't like my content, you're not going to be watching my content, and that's very, very heartbreaking. That's very heartbreaking. So if you're watching this because you want to become an au pair, I wish you success. If you're watching this because you're an au pair, I wish you strength and I wish you success. I wish you a good family. And yeah, until next time, bye.